Thanks for listening to this month's episode of the Mermaid Podcast.
You're listening to the Mermaid Podcast here on WPOD FM, Mermaid Radio. I'm Gary Guppy, and we hope you enjoy today's program.
Welcome to the Mermaid Podcast, where we dive deep into the magical world of mermaiding and all things aquatic. I'm your host, Sierra Mermaid, and these are my co-hosts, Murashira, and the merman who can't seem to keep a consistent schedule for the life of him, Merman Nathaniel.
I resent that. Whether you're a seasoned performer, hobbyist, or curious adventure seeker, this is the place for you. We'll be highlighting our fantastic community and what we're all about, making magic and living our best mermaid dreams.
Today is all about MerMay and meetups, plus a recap of MerMagicCon. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok and Bluesky at the Mermaid Podcast, and join the pod on Discord to connect with our community, linked in the description. If you like what we do, please consider donating to our coffee to help us continue the podcast. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Mermaid Podcast. Long time no see.
Hey.
But we are so excited to be back for season 2. And we figured what better way to get things going, kick it off, than to talk about MerMay. We are coming off of a really exciting time, seeing that one of the first big cons of the year just went through, completed. MerMagicCon. Our very own Merman Nathaniel was there. So, Nate, tell us, give us the tea. How was it?
It was one of the best weekends of my life, to put it simply. First of all, I want to say, so sorry you couldn't come with me this year, Sierra. It definitely was not the same without you.
I know, the emergency room needed me, though. I'm sorry.
But you should have told them this was your own emergency. Whatever.
I should.
But it was great. My friend and occasional server contributor, Centaur Works, was gracious enough to actually let me carpool with him to the convention this year. Very grateful for him for that. I'm really glad that he did that, because I feel like the road trip would have been agonizing had he not.
It is agonizing from where we are. Literally, it would have been a much easier swim.
Yeah.
It was especially bad because just like 2 weeks prior, I had just come back from a vacation where I was visiting family in New Hampshire, and I took the back roads for most of that, and that was like an 8-hour trip still. So that was having to like do all that without talking to anybody. And I don't have any Bluetooth hookup to my car, nor do I have any Sirius XM radio or whatever. Anyway, I digress. Eventually we got there, and we got a little confused at first. He had a booth there this year. I was the one who pushed him to get a booth there. Anytime I was talking about his art, it was like, dude, you should get a MerMagicCon booth. You should totally do it. And he eventually got one. Him and Chico were there this year. That was great.
That picture of the three of you together was awesome.
Oh my god. That might be one of my favorite photos there.
Yeah.
I will be stitching together a blog at one point with the footage that I took of MerMagicCon. It'll probably be out sometime after this episode airs. But, we got to the loading bay area. We got some confusion because they told us, oh, look for a guy in a plaid shirt in a white sedan, and he'll come get you.
Very different
drove all
from
around
what
the
I was
garage.
thinking.
Yeah, no, but we couldn't find the guy, so we just went back and said, hey, we can't find this guy anywhere. So they were just like, all right, yeah, just unload your stuff.
They forgot to tell you it's actually camouflage.
Yeah.
He was in his John Cena outfit.
Yes.
So we unload our stuff. We're setting up the booth, and who is wandering around and talking to everybody, setting up their booths, is none other than Mermaid Shay Monique herself.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
she
love
was
her.
the sweetest. She was like walking around. She was like talking with everyone, greeting everyone. She stopped by us and she was like, "Oh, cool, that's great. Can't wait to see you all at the convention tomorrow." And as she's walking away, I'm just like, I'm looking at Centaur Works and I'm like, dude, that was Shay Monique.
I met her in 2024 at Siren Symposium. We had a whole conversation for a hot minute. Like, we were yip-yapping for a little bit. And then it was not until she was almost leaving that I literally looked at her for a minute and I was like, now wait a goddamn minute. I know you. I'm so bad with names and faces. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
But yeah, no, it was really cool seeing her.
It's definitely so different meeting people from the internet in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it very
it really
much is.
was.
It's such a blessing, though. It's the one thing that I love about the internet as somebody who's really not a big social media person. I love that the way that it brings people together like this. It's one of the best things to come out of the internet, especially in the modern age.
Yeah, absolutely. But after we got the booth set up, we just went to the hotel room. We lucked out again this year. When you and I, Sierra, went, when we went, we had like a floor on the 7th or 8th floor, I think.
Yeah.
We had one on the 9th floor this year. So we still had a gorgeous view of the surrounding area as well, or at least like from where we were situated. It was just quite a view. Loved seeing it. But of course, first day comes, I wake up a little bit late. I didn't really have anything for breakfast. I just had a few sticks of Pocky and half a bottle of body armor because I was
Oh my
dehydrated
gosh.
that morning.
Oh, that drive will do it.
It was a nice walk over there. I actually got one of those folding wagons this year, the kind that you have, Sierra.
Oh, it's a godsend. Isn't it great?
Yeah, no, really. Like, I got it for $70 at Dick's Sporting Goods, and
Yep.
that thing was a total lifesaver. I don't
I
think I
love
would have
it.
survived without it.
I was just yapping about how great it is to have one of those wagons to my significant other yesterday. Completely unrelated. Like, I was just like, I can't wait for summer. I'm gonna have my wagon out. I just can't wait to see my wagon again. It's like my
Oh,
best friend
absolutely.
once it's time to mermaid.
And the weather itself was just magnificent. They made the right call to move the convention to April this year
Yeah.
because the weather was just spectacular.
That's the way to
You
do
know,
it.
it wasn't like last year where it was like 60 one day and then like in the 20s the next, and I'm suddenly just like freezing my butt off because I'm wearing nothing but shorts because they were the only dry thing I had on me.
It was rough last year. That walk back.
Thankfully, that was not the case this year. But yeah, as soon as I got to the convention center, I got my ticket, or not my ticket, but my wristband and all that.
Mhm.
Of course, I head over to the vendor hall, since that's one of the first things that they have open on the first day. I rendezvous back with Centaur Works, and of course I meet Chico there as well. And one thing I love that he did this year is he was in like full costume. I don't know if you listeners, I don't know who reads his webcomic Wet Frontier, but he has like a self-insert persona where he depicts himself as a squid cicala with these green suspenders and a bow tie and like a head that resembles a squid. And he was like dressed to the nines like that this year.
It's
And it
so
was like
fun.
really endearing.
I
Yeah.
think that one of the best parts about these kind of cons is seeing people's
He goes
personas
off.
or self-inserts or anything like that. I love the creativity. I just think that everybody always looks so great. I love it.
Oh, the costumes were on point this year. There was one costume that really stood out among the rest of them there. There was this woman there who was dressed as, I guess it's like a French meme character named Lepson Steve. And
Oh my gosh.
it's like this orange animated fish that has like really spindly arms and legs. And they were just like walking around the entire convention. They were the life of the party there. Like, the costume was homemade. It was just spectacular. If you look up any photos of MerMagicCon, chances are you're going to see at least one photo with them in it. They were just spectacular. They brought the vibes to the function.
That's
It
awesome.
was great.
That's the one thing I think that I missed the most about not going this year was the costumes, and then specifically for the gala that they throw, all of everybody's outfits for that. That was always one of my favorite parts, was like picking out like what's the theme gonna be, like what color scheme are we gonna go with. I always loved going through that, and then the conga lines to Under the Sea are always magnificent.
One day I will go to a MerMaidCon.
You are
It's
going
so
to
fun.
MerMagicCon next year. That is not up for debate.
I will get there one way or another. One way. Or
You
another.
will.
No.
I didn't go to the gala.
Gala was very fun, but last year I was a wreck after that one. I don't know how I got up as early as I did.
I didn't go this year, but I will. Chico, Centaur, and I, we did plan to. We did toy with the idea of going to the one next year, which I'm totally not opposed to.
You should. It's so
Uh,
fun. It's so worth it.
It looks like a lot of fun. I'm just wondering if I'm gonna have the energy for it.
Oh, the energy will come. It's so
You'll be-
fun.
But yeah, that was the vendor hall. I also finally got a chance to talk to Eric Ducharme as well.
He's very
Um,
sweet.
I don't know how many people like know me on the podcast, but if you know me, I rarely get starstruck. My dad, he's worked with people who have worked in like big Hollywood movies before. He's personally befriended them, and I've met them. And I was never like totally starstruck. I was just like, "Oh, cool. Hi. How you doing?" But with like people in the mermaid community, suddenly I'm just like, "Oh my god, that's Shay Monique. Oh my god, that's Eric Ducharme." And last year I was squeamish about going up to talk to him. I was just like, "Oh god, what do I say to him?" This year I did actually work up the courage to do it. I walked up to him and I essentially poured my heart out. I'm like, "Hey, I used to like, you're such a big inspiration for me. I used to browse your website all the time when I was in high school and just like vicariously imagine myself in one of your tales." And it was a really nice, like, short, simple conversation. I told him I was here with my friends. We talked about Chico's webcomic a little bit. He thought it was cool. And I walked away not only having a pleasant conversation with him, but also with a nice little Mer Taylor t-shirt and a mermaid tail Christmas stocking that looks remarkably similar to the tail that I have.
That's awesome. That's also something that I really missed, is I love stopping at the Mert Taylor booth, and I love spending a majority of my money there. I always have to bring home a new tail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did not skimp out on the vendor hall this year. I walked away with quite a bit of stuff. This happened on Sunday, but I actually got a nice hoodie from... Oh god, I forgot the name of the booth, but they had this really cool hoodie there, which it was like completely black, but like all the detailing was done with like a holographic rainbow design, and it depicted this mermaid surrounded by giant octopus tentacles. And on the sleeves, it said something like, the sleeves say something like "mouth of a sailor, soul of a mermaid."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh,
And
I
it's-
remember that company, but I didn't get anything from them last year, and I didn't go this year, so I cannot remember for the life of me who they are. I am so sorry I can't be more help, but their things are magnificent. So if anybody listening
Oh
knows,
yeah,
drop it in the comment section.
it probably has the company logo on the front of the hoodie. But anyway, I also did attend a few panels while I was there. One of the panels
your
was actually... There was one that I actually attended late. It was a tabletop panel where they were playing a game called Kids on Bikes, which I guess is like a tabletop game where it's very heavily inspired by things like The Goonies and Stranger Things and those kind of things. But they obviously modified the rules, so it's them going on like a mermaid adventure, essentially. That was really fun to listen in on. And they also had some audience participation as well. At the end, they actually allowed people to come up with a name for their adventure. And I came up with Crab Rave Caper, and they gave me a free copy of the Kids on Bikes rulebook as a prize. Yeah, no, it was really cool. But other than that, there's also the vendor panel where people from the vendor hall came to essentially flaunt their business and show off what they have. Obviously, Chico was there. He gave a whole speech about his art. He talked about like his inspirations, and even gave a shout out to us here on the podcast as well as the pod server.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chico. You did so good on your speech. I'm so glad I got filmed.
There's a few other vendors there. There was one where they were showing off like this dragon scale armor dress, which that absolutely blew my mind design wise, because that thing looked pretty freaking heavy to wear. I wish I remembered the name of that vendor as well, because they actually had a metal dragon scale tail as well that they were selling that you could swim in. God, I cannot imagine the leg strength you would need to swim in that thing.
True.
Oh, excuse me. But eventually, the pool area did open up. We got the whole thing from last year happened. Everybody gathered at the pool. We had some kind words from the hosts. We had some words from Eric Ducharme as well. And everybody went in and took a plunge. And as usual, I just chilled out in the shallow pool area because I'm not really that great of a swimmer. But
We're gonna fix that.
Absolutely.
it was, oh yeah. But that was enough for me to get lost in my own fantasy.
Lost in the sauce. Yeah, I get it.
While I was there, I actually had a view of the, okay, so they have this Titantron display above the pool where they're showing off people posing for underwater photographs. There was a lady
Submerge,
there
right?
who had, I'm sorry, what?
With Submerge.
I believe so. I can't remember exactly, but I remember turning around and I saw this lady. She was rocking one of the Jurassic Merman octopus tails, and she looked absolutely gorgeous underwater. Like, just watching her swim and seeing the tentacles just essentially like dance around and come to life underwater, it just looked so very lifelike. It was
Those tails are
something to
amazing.
behold. I also got a visit from pod user Milk Tears as well. So if you're listening, hi, thanks for stopping by. No, it was just great. I was in there for, God, I want to say 3 hours, just swishing my tail around and watching all the other MERS in the other pool just doing their thing. Yeah, no, it was great. I was soaked to the bone afterwards, but the pool room was also incredibly humid, probably because there's 2 different hot tubs situated on either side of the pool room. So I imagine that probably helped dry me off at least a little bit. By the end of the convention, though, I had no clean towels whatsoever. Advice number 1, folks, bring lots of towels. I don't care how many you think you need more.
We will be talking about that more in our next segment where we talk about tips and tricks. Your first MerMeet, going to your first pod meet, your first convention. Nate, do you have any closing thoughts on MerMagicCon?
I can't wait to go again next year. I'll go into more
Hopefully
detail.
Yep, all 3 of us.
I'll go into more detail about it when I eventually stitch the blog together and upload it to the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of just the first day.
All right, thank you, Nathaniel. And when we come back from our break, we will be talking about MerMay art and all the prompts lists that are coming out. So stay tuned.
You're listening to WPOD FM Mermaid Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Mariana Thriller Theater presents Anglerman.
There's simply no way of telling what sorts of unholy creatures will encounter that far down.
An underwater expedition team, trapped in the deepest parts of the ocean, must find their way back to shallow waters before they are caught by the watchful gaze of Anglerman.
We've got to get out of here before that thing catches us.
What sort of thing are we talking about?
Witness the horrors of magic and science combined to create the ultimate apex predator, Anglerman.
Wait a minute, where's Laura?
Coming this October to a dive-in theater near you.
Tired of looking for a new or used jet ski that won't break the bank? We've got you covered. At Shark Ski Lot, we've got what you're looking for. Find a new or used jet ski that'll fit your needs, from Hondas to Yamahas to Sea-Doos and more. No credit? No problem. We'll set up a payment plan just for you. You can swim away with your jet ski as soon as today. Shark Ski Lot, located off the coast of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. My name is Bernie Shark Sr. Come on down.
All right, welcome back. Now let's dive back into talking about MerMay. The thing about MerMay is all of the wonderful art that comes out during this season. That's in no small part due to all the great prompts list, both the official one and all of the other ones that get made by artists that are just within the community and wanting to give back. But what better way to kick this off than how we did last year, which is talking about the official prompts list, and then we will pick one that a member of our community did, and we'll talk about that one. So I do have the prompts list that was posted in April by MerMay Official on Instagram. We'll just go right straight through the list and talk about some of the hard hitters here, some that might be interesting or different.
I have to say, though, just looking at the MerMay prompts, I think I like them better than last year.
Oh, by far. By far.
But a lot.
Wasn't there a fart on it last year?
There are kind of a few weird ones this year, but I feel like there's stuff that you can do with all of them.
Oh, absolutely.
The first prompt is interesting. Childhood crush.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to learn how to draw an emo mermaid real fast.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, really? Who's your childhood crush, Sierra?
I had a few of them. I had a real problem. Mine were like Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. I have an all-time low tattoo that I got before it was illegal in New York State to get a tattoo. I went to Florida for it, and it's all-time low. Nobody cancel me for that. I was 17.
You absolute felon.
It was before everything came out. I was also a Warped Tour girl. Take that how you will. For those who don't know what that means, be blessed. Don't look it up. But I had a lot of emo crushes, my friends.
So for May 3rd, we have Handmade.
That can be interesting. I think that invites other art forms that aren't just drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking of people more inclined to do arts and crafts would be interested in that one. May the 4th is obviously Star Wars, because May the 4th.
Duh. I think that's it every year. But skipping ahead a little bit, May 9th, we have My Little Merpony.
That I thought would be so fun, and I'm not even a big My Little Pony fan at all. But I was like, oh my god, that'd be so cute.
Is there any official crossover?
There are.
Wow.
I didn't watch it because obviously it came out way after I stopped being a brony, but I do know that the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic movie does depict the main characters as mermaids at one point, or sea ponies rather.
I'm excited personally for May 16th, book talk. I feel like that one would be really fun, just to see everybody's favorite book characters. Mermaid.
May 13th and May 18th are especially exciting to me because you've got for May 13th you have Totally 80s, and May 18th you have Miami Vibes, and I'm just like, I think that's exciting right there. For those of you who don't know, I'm writing my own mermaid book at the moment that does take place in the 1980s.
Just fit both
and like
of those.
Yeah, exactly. And like one of the big inspirations for it is the game GTA Vice City, which is such a weird inspiration, but like when you like actually sit down and play the game, yeah, like when you sit down and play the game and you realize just how perfectly that game captures not just the 80s but Miami in the 80s, like that's when you realize, okay, yeah, this would actually be fun as like a location for a mermaid story.
Yeah, one thing to make it better, add mermaids.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. You know, even like, you know, combining those two would be like really fun. Doing like, again, like Vice City or like something like Miami Vice inspired, I think that would be really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really excited to see all of the pixel art for May 21st 8-bit.
Ooh.
I was literally
Yeah.
just thinking that.
May 26th, Shel Silverstein. I'm curious about that one right there. Why Shel Silverstein in particular?
I don't know why they would have picked him, but he does have a very specific art style of just like doodles, black and white.
He does. I don't know how many of you have read. Every time I think of Shel Silverstein, I don't know how many of you have read Diary of a Wimpy Kid before, but I think it was either like the third or fourth book where the main character talks about how when he was younger, he used to be scared of Shel Silverstein because one of the books he had, The Giving Tree, had like a photo of him in the back, and he just looked like this really intimidating, bald,
Yes.
Yeah.
bearded man. And
He is
talks
in
about
every
like
one of his books.
yeah, but he talks about how how his dad used to use that against him. He's, oh, if you sneak out of bed again, you might run into Shel Silverstein in the hallway. And like
Oh God.
just the way they illustrate him in the book, in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, just cracks me up every single time I see it. I'll have to share it with you too later, but it cracks me up so much.
May 30th, we have Chibi, so that's a pretty classic one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking
I know a
about,
lot
like
of
with
great-
art styles, it's super inclusive.
I know there's quite a few chibi artists out there that I think would love to take a crack at that one.
Towards the end of the month, we have Seafoam.
I was gonna say that word always breaks my heart because of the original Little Mermaid story. I've gone into that
Yes.
so many times in this podcast, I think.
Yeah. I could also see it being used in a positive connotation as well.
Absolutely. But like I said, the way of
Those
the
are the
emo.
Those are the ones that stuck out to me. I'm really excited to see what everyone comes up with for these prompts, though.
And here on the podcast, we also like to highlight our community involvements as well. And it just so happens that a few of our members in the pod have also taken the liberty of making their own MerMay prompts list that some of us are going to be following this year. There's one by user Cviathan.
Some of these that stand out to me, we have a lot of different species. I in particular like how so many different species are included. Crazy.
I gotta say, I really like the variety that she has put into this. A lot of these do feel like very celestial in their own ways, very like magical and mystical. Pardon me. The first two are Song and Moon. Those two are very like synonymous with mermaid culture. You've also got you also have Love for day 20, Friendship day 19, Stars day 29, Memoriam for day 31.
But I get it because it's the last day of MerMay. It's closing a chapter. So I get how they can be either something for almost nostalgia, like looking back, and a lot of the time that does kind of bring like a little ouch to the heart. But it's a bittersweet thing.
All right. But not only do we have one from Sebastial, but we also have one from Mako the Merfurry. This one's also got a nice variety to it. We got day 1 Nymph, day 2 Orca, day 7's pixel art,
Very
Hero in
inclusive.
Game for day 9 and 10 as well,
12
respectively.
is Pokemade.
Yeah, I was about to bring that one
Ooh.
up. That one looks like it'll be kind of interesting. I could see that going one of two different ways. Either you depict different Pokemon as merfolk, or you depict one of the Pokemon characters as merfolk. That was something that was like really popular in the
I would
heyday
love
of
to
deviant art.
see Piplup as a mermaid.
Oh, that would be so
I
fun.
had immediately went with this is I saw two camps of people. One camp who is taking different Pokemon that aren't mermaids and making them into mermaids, and then another camp of people that just draw Primarina as the obvious answer.
Day 29 sitcom. Okay, that one's actually kind of interesting. I would like to see what people do with that one. And then, as a change of pace for day 31, he set that as a free day. So I guess that's just whatever the heck you guys want to do.
The Mermans Club is also doing a prompts list, and they say anyone of any gender orientation can draw for it. But the one that sticks out to me is husbando, I don't know, husbando waifu?
Quite self-indulging.
Yes. And they're also very interesting. These kind of take a little bit of a darker and less whimsical approach. There's cyborg, darkness, horror, fight.
Ooh.
Day 4 zombie.
But then we got some fun
7-Eleven
ones like
on day
K-pop.
6. Yeah, I have no idea what they mean by 7-Eleven.
Did
Like,
they mean
how
the
do you-
store?
I love it though.
You know what? Let's go for
mean,
it. Hey, and
A snack
Yeah.
that you'd find at a 7-Eleven as a mermaid tail.
yeah.
Maybe like a slushy blue raz.
Oh, the slushies into merfolk. Day 5 is booty, so yeah. Yeah,
Make of
I
that
don't know
what
what
you
to
will.
say about that. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Cowboy chicken. Separate, by the
Cowboy
way.
chicken.
I'll be a cowboy, baby.
Soda pop. Horses. Get some hippocampus going up here.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any big happenings in MerMay that either of you want to talk about?
Yeah, I have
We
some...
did find 2.
We found a little more than 2. There's just a bunch of cons that are going to be starting to pop up. We have California Mermaid Convention in the second week of May 15th to 17th in California. That's a huge one for our West Coast MERS.
And then we also found I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Seaward Mermaid Festival in Alaska. That is the same weekend, May 15th and 16th.
Which that was crazy to me. Just, first of all, remembering
Yeah,
that
Alaska.
exists. And then second of all, like, cold up there and they still have their mermaid festivals. Oh my gosh.
A shout out
That's
to
so
them.
exciting. Yes. Arctic mer representation.
Absolutely.
For real.
Now, outside of MerMay, we also have a few other mermaid happenings going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sierra, I believe you mentioned there was a mermaid convention happening in Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, the Hudson River Mermaids put on Mermaid Festival in Sleepy Hollow. This year, it's July 18th in Kingsland Point Park.
I bet you're looking forward to that one.
Very much. I've got both the mermaid stuff and I have my witchy paranormal investigation thing too. So that is me to a T. I am so excited for that one this year. I'm wearing both my hats at the same time. It's going to be great.
Yes.
But other than that, we've also have a mermaid convention happening in Olcott, New York, which is very close to Niagara Falls. I went to that one 2 years ago. It's a really nice, it's a really nice small Little Mermaid Day celebration. It's really just an excuse for people to kind of go out and support some local shops. It's happening in the Lakeview Shop area, I believe it's called. And it's literally just a small series of huts that all have really small shops situated in them. That's right on the lake. It's a gorgeous place. They have a little parade that people can volunteer for as well.
We also have it's quite far. This one isn't in New York. It's not near me and Mermaid Nathaniel. But Carolina Merfolk Festival takes place in August. I want to say it was the 18th, but I could be wrong. They've got an Instagram if everybody wants to look into that one.
And I know all of these are pretty much in the United States, but if there are any happening in Europe or Asia or Australia, just give us a shout and we will be glad to cover some of it. So yeah, we are very supportive of our international mermaid scene. When we get back from the break, we're going to be talking about tips for your very first MerMeet or pod meet or convention, or just your first travel away gathering to go mer.
You're listening to WPOD FM Mermaid Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Get ready to flip those fins, tap those tentacles, and get down on your dorsals over at Pacific Groove. Find the best lighting, the coolest drinks, and dance the night away to bonafide classics and the latest hits. Be sure to check out our disco night and boogie to some 70s classics every Saturday night. Pacific Groove, located just off the northern cliffs near Mariana's Trench. Swim on in and have a night you'll never forget. New from the makers of Aquafresh comes an energy drink chemically engineered for the elderly.
Are you my grandson?
Try Red Sea Energy. Red Sea Energy has all the stuff needed to get geriatric old farts such as yourself the jumpstart you desperately need. And each can packs so much vitamin C inside that, quite frankly, it should be illegal. Here, try some.
Oh, I feel my bones vibrating.
Whoa! That old geezer just scored a three-pointer!
Hey, mister, can I have some of that weird juice?
Beat it, nerd!
Aw, man, you sound just like my dad.
Red Sea Energy. Part the waves. Available now wherever drinks are sold.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Sierra, Ash, do either of you have any experience doing mermaid meetups?
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I only have the experience with you, where we did a little mini meetup with one of our good friends, Derek. That was pretty fun. As Mermaid and Nathaniel would know, we do have 2 Facebook groups for upstate New York mermaids, but unfortunately, a lot of the time it's not super active, which I think that one of the biggest things that I could say about making a meetup is don't be shy, don't be afraid to try to reach out to people, because how else are you going to make those friends and get those meetups if you're a little too shy to agree to it? So very much, I say put yourself out there. It's so worth it.
Funnily enough, there was actually a panel all about this at MerMagicCon that was co-hosted by pod user Spring Hill Siren, and that was one of the talking points that she brought up. I unfortunately had to leave like halfway through because the con was closing up and we had a 6-hour drive back home. But one of the other talking points that stuck with me is transportation. Typically, especially now with how ludicrous gas prices are, you will want to pick a location that has at least some decent public transportation, or at the very least is like not too far from some place that has public transportation.
I agree.
It's one thing you would want to consider. Sometimes it's faster too than just driving, depending on like where you live exactly. Like it's faster, maybe it's a bit more convenient.
I think my first pod gathering, I drove 2 hours to get to. But yeah, I wish we had better public transportation, especially in the Mid-South.
Yeah, we've actually have that problem in upstate New York as well. A lot of the merfolk around me are at least an hour away. The average is 2 to 3 though, which really does stink when the public transportation really isn't on par, which it's really not. It's a lot different from being downstate in the New York City area.
Yeah.
But even if there is a hard place with the transportation, even just finding your community online first can make all the difference, because that way you can at least possibly carpool. Really, I think a lot of it comes down to just finding your people, and I think that is
communication
more than half the battle, being able to communicate like you just said, Nate.
Yeah, that's always a big thing. If you're like shy, especially if you don't really talk to a lot of people, that's one of those things you kind of have to, that's one of those barriers you kind of have to break, especially if you're like reluctant to go on some place like Facebook. Facebook is your best bet at this point.
Absolutely.
We have a friend here in the Discord, not gonna name names, but they are like very reluctant to go back to Facebook to essentially make their own pod. But there's also that air of understanding that they kind of have to.
Yeah, it's not like how it was even 5 years
Right.
ago when we still had Mer Network.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about actually getting to the pod meet. What are some tips or tricks or must-have items that you guys need to have when you're going to a meetup? I know for me, the
Get
biggest game
yourself
changer.
a wagon.
Yes, I was gonna say a wagon. It's actually sitting right next to me right now.
Love me a
It's such
wagon.
convenient.
Yes.
Can y'all hear my dog barking?
No.
Okay, good, because she's down there yapping like it's nobody's business. Sorry,
That's
we can
okay.
carry on now.
Another thing for me was having long hair, bringing leave-in conditioner, especially after getting out of a chlorine-filled pool. That stuff will dry your hair out, and you
Yes.
want normal-looking hair for the next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a curly-haired girly, I would absolutely say the same thing.
Yeah.
And I would
and,
also say for my chronically ill friends, somebody who may have an issue like I do, I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I've talked about it like briefly before, but I'm gonna give a warning. Yes, they're waterproof, and yes, it says 30 meters for most smartwatches. Don't trust it at all. Learned that the hard way. So absolutely bring an oximeter. You can get them really cheap on like Amazon if you are concerned about your heart rate or your oxygen intake or anything like that. I very much say an oximeter that you keep on the side of the pool. That helps a ton. Make sure that you're bringing a little snack and water, not just pool water or natural water.
Don't drink the
Bring
pool,
drinking
please.
water. And don't drink the pool water, my friends.
And then, of course, like I said earlier, bring lots of towels. Even if you think you have enough, bring more. Because
Yeah.
your tail is going to be wet. Like, you're going to be wet. Your tail's going to be wet. Chances are your clothing is going to be wet as well. Not to mention, depending on where you have the meetup at, you're probably going to have to deal with, like, sand in your clothes as well.
Yeah.
Maybe even
Yes.
sand in your tail.
Also, I have a little hack for sand in the tail, just in case we've got any new people listening that don't know this. Vinegar, my friends. Pour vinegar on the zipper. That will be the way to get your tail open and closed again.
Ooh, okay.
Yes,
Good to
otherwise the sand can get stuck in there.
Do you do this before
Alright.
you get the tail in the sand?
No, afterwards. I would just hold it
Okay,
over the
okay.
tub or the washer or something, and I just pour vinegar on it.
Awesome. How did you find that out?
It was actually a panic find. I had gone to a meetup with MerMay and Nathaniel was there actually. It was for one of his birthdays. And we had taken some photos, but then I had also gotten into the water and swam around a little bit. And so obviously when I came out, it was a little bit of a mess. And I was like ready to cry. I thought I ruined my tail and then I was going to have to cut my monofin out because it would not budge. So I had done a lot of Googling, trying different things, and vinegar worked like a charm. Literally just poured some regular distilled vinegar over it and it opened right up. There was never any sand there to begin with.
All right, that's something I'll have to keep a note of for next time.
If you guys have any more experiences or tips regarding MerMeets, sound off in the comments.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as too many tips.
Before we end today's episode, we'd like to introduce a special segment that will be in all future episodes, and that is the Artist Spotlight. As you all know, we have a wonderful volunteer artist in the community doing our thumbnails, and we wanted a bigger dedication to them. And we also started something new in the Discord server where we recognize a community artist who is a member of our art club. So the thumbnail artist for this episode would be none other than NeoJestar. We'll have their social down there in the description. They actually did a really good job with this piece on such short notice. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's already making me a little nostalgic for MerMagicCon, if I'm being honest.
Absolutely. I love this month's episode art.
It looks great. They did such a great job. I've seen their art beforehand, and they do really good mermaid art. They've been commissioned a bunch of times by a couple of friends here on the Discord server, and they do a really good job with a lot of that.
Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and share some words from NeoJestar. They say, I am NeoJestar. I've been drawing / animating for over a decade and mainly do it as a hobby. You can find me on Bluesky at NeoJestar. I'm currently working on a video game called Bando, which you can find at the same account in the rare instances I actually remember to post updates. We feel you, Neo. But go ahead and check him out, yeah.
Check out Bando
Yeah.
Boom. It sounds like it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I remember Chico actually sent me a link to some footage that they had uploaded to that. It actually looks really cool. It's giving almost Ed Netty kind of vibes. Or not even
Gosh.
Ed Netty. Okay, do you guys remember this one Flash game that used to be on Newgrounds called Fancy Pants Adventures?
Oh my god, yes. I loved Fancy Pants. The second one was my favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of giving those vibes a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm excited to see how progress on that comes along.
For April, we had picked Doc Zero for the Artist of the Month. Doc Zero specializes in both OCs and story art.
I love his art so much. There's something so elegant about it, and just stylistically, it's beautiful.
His newest art piece actually depicted a mermaid lagoon, and I thought that looked really nice.
It's always awesome to see people making improvements on their talents. Lastly, we'd like to recognize Sebastial and Agent over here on the Discord server. Agent has been selected for our May Artist of the Month, so go check him out. All of these handles of all of our artists will be linked in the description.
Absolutely.
All right, now time for Community Corner. Nate, what do we have going on in the community?
Like every other week, we have our weekly meetups. We've got the art club meetup on Monday. We have game streams and game nights alternating on Fridays. I don't remember if I've mentioned this at all in a previous episode, but we also have a movie club now, as well as a Schlock of the Month club. It's where we get together and we pick a date, we pick a bad movie to watch, and we just watch it and make fun of it. The last one we watched actually was the 2025 War of the Worlds movie starring Ice Cube. Yeah, Sierra knows what's up. Funny thing, actually, when we were watching that movie, it just so happened that the Razzies were going on at the same time, and that movie won, I think, 7 awards at the Razzies.
That's rough.
That's all we have from the server. From us, the hosts, to you, the listeners, we wish you a very happy MerMay. Go out, create, wear your tails, do something outdoors to celebrate the water and the weather warming up and just celebrating our community. Happy splashing! Thanks for listening to this month's episode of the Mermaid Podcast.
Tune in to our next episode where we talk about mermaid culture in the digital age.
As always, don't forget to get on your shell phones and give us a follow on TikTok, Bluesky, and Facebook at the Mermaid Podcast. And join our wonderful Discord community. Happy splashing!
We'd like to thank our coffee donors that have made this month's episode possible: Ariadne, Isla, and Elizabeth. If you enjoyed this month's episode and want to hear more from us, consider donating to our coffee, linked in the description. Every amount counts and helps pay for our recording software and maintenance fees. Without our coffee donors, we couldn't do what we do. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
This has been the Mermaid Podcast here on WPOD FM, Mermaid Radio. I'm Gary Guppy, and we hope to catch you all next time.